You see my eyeballs, great. And I can see clear. I can see clearly now.
I need those.
Should be a song.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Designer Show. Dan Baumann here, on with Renee, Robin, Kevin, and John. Hi everyone.
Hey everybody.
And welcome to our 100th Designer Show.
Woo!
Yeah. We should have some streamers or something going on for it. I don't know.
Yeah, we should.
I know. Jolene asked me about that. You gonna do anything special? And I said, yeah, we're gonna show up. So anywho, welcome everyone. We're going to continue our discussion here in part 3 of Chief's new features. So Renee and Robin kind of get to have the floor today. However, we are going to start out with Kevin. Kevin's got some cool things he wants to talk about. So in our 10-minute business segment, I don't have any commercials today. You guys got anything you want to let everybody know about? Renee, Rob, nobody?
No one? No?
Nothing to sell? Jeez.
Next month.
Okay.
Chief says they've got an update to the software next month, and then I'll put out something.
They are going to wait till next month for their update?
Yeah, they've got something more stuff for the library.
Okay, because they've been having trouble with the library. I know that. So it's they're still not displaying the. Well, you could talk about. You're going to talk about the library
Sure.
feature a little bit today. You can talk about it then. So, but right now we're going to have a little chat with Kevin here. Kevin is our business mastermind guru here, who's going to discuss a topic today that is front and center in the world. You guys want to guess what the topic might be that you hear about all the time now, all over the place?
AI.
Hey, you got it. Yeah, AI. It's God, I'm getting so many ads for AI. Hey, get this AI app. Get this AI app. Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah.
I see all the ads. They say they just use AI in it, and it's like you're not even selling anything that uses AI. You're just putting it in your title now. Yeah. You should put that on this show. 100 show. We're AI.
Yeah. We're all virtual, by the way. None of us are real. Anyway, so Kevin, let's turn it over to you, and you have added. Why don't you go ahead and talk about AI for a little bit? We're going to actually make you the solo presenter. So
all right.
You get to have at it, and we'll chime in with any questions that we might have. If you guys have questions about AI, feel free to comment, because we are talking about AI right now. Kevin is actually sitting in his kitchen, a picture of his kitchen, because he's got people at his house right now. Because we can see the shadow moving a little bit there. But next time you'll probably be in the real kitchen. So
that's my AI hair that you see.
Yeah. I actually have been in Kevin's kitchen. It's absolutely beautiful. And yeah, Kevin creates some amazing stuff. And you should see the gazebo he has outside. He'll probably be in that in one of these shows too. When it warms up a little bit more.
That's my favorite office.
Yes, there. I know it is. So, but Kevin, go ahead and tell us. Go ahead, Robin.
Oh, no, I was just saying, did you say gazebo?
It's his outdoor living office. Whatever you
You say tomato, I say tomato.
There we go. Whatever it's called. Kevin, tell us a little bit about AI.
All right. Well, if anybody hasn't heard the term AI, if your home is under a rock, or if you've been in hibernation for the last 6 months through the winter months, there is a tsunami of information coming at us, and there's reason for that. But there's also it's also easily explained. So a lot of times people question the term AI because it seems like it's some kind of magic voodoo thing. And it does feel that way at times. The reality is, if you don't know, and I'll give you a very brief idea, AI stands for artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is exactly what it says. It's not a real thinking, feeling machine. It's not yet bound to take over our planet and subjugate the human population. However, the tendency, the feel of it seems to be that way. And even the CEOs of the top companies in AI have a fear of what this technology could bring. When ChatGPT came out about 4 months ago, and became publicly known about 4 months ago, the other companies that were in the AI world were suddenly left behind because AI got all, or ChatGPT got all the attention, and everyone rushed to claim a piece of ChatGPT. Microsoft even claimed the invention of AI, similar to what was the VP that claimed he had invented the internet? I can't. Oh,
Al Gore.
Al Gore.
Gore.
Yeah, yeah. So kind of like that. Then all of a sudden, Microsoft had their name on there, and the news were rushing to that. But the reality is that Microsoft simply built ChatGPT into their Bing search engine. So they aren't doing anything with it other than presenting the results. But it looks like that they're claiming AI.
Yeah.
So what does it mean then? If everybody out there is claiming it, why is it coming in so quickly? And what does it mean to us? Well, the first thing is that we know, based on the data that's coming in, the people who are involved in it, that there are a whole lot more people involved in it than just ChatGPT. But that's what you hear about, is ChatGPT. And for good reason. Their focus is in using the artificial intelligence engine to aggregate data and bring it forward in a very easily readable form. It's very, very cool. They're just like any other tool, the idea is to present it to the user in the form that is what you're trying to sell. So for ChatGPT, it happens to be text-based. For Jasper, it's more about marketing. Each has their genre that they're appealing to.
Right.
So how does it affect us then? How's it affecting the industry? Well, it already has. It's already affecting the industry, and that all of us are talking about it, and all of us are wondering about it.
Well, and look what Mike just did here. A few shows back, he did a custom disclaimer.
There you go.
Cool.
Yeah, and for that purpose, you can use ChatGPT to generate almost anything in a text form. I've gotten deeply involved in it since our summit on the Outer Banks in North Carolina, because questions came up at that summit that really got me thinking about where the future is going to take us and how it's going to affect our industry. So I came back and pretty much have been following anybody that I can follow to see what their thoughts may be. And there are some very interesting ideas out there. So do I think it's going to affect the industry? I think it already is. When do I think it's going to have a major effect on the industry? I think that we're going to see that within a half a decade. So what is a major change then? What does that mean? Well, I think that if we look at the way it's already affecting us now and the ideas that are coming out of it, I think anything that requires, well, first of all, let me say that AI is really not a thinking machine, but it's an aggregation tool. It takes data from millions of resources that it can scan across the internet. It aggregates that data. It analyzes it to basically sift through it and find things that seem to be more commonly accepted than not, therefore probably more truthful than not. And it aggregates it and redisplays it in a form that the person asking the question or commanding a task can look at and understand easily. So just like it can do this with text, you can imagine, as who was it? I think M2. I think it was you. I don't know your name. But at a recent mention, immediately said, ChatGPT, build me a 3-bedroom house and make it pretty. I was caught so off guard by that, because it's something that I've been thinking about for so long. If the idea is that anything that requires two people to ask the same questions as a candidate for artificial intelligence, then when we look at our industry and we look at how we're all learning to pull a line here and connect a dot there, it's very easy to see that we can stretch that into the artificial intelligence world and imagine a future where those kinds of things are being done for us. So if we see that and it's in the future, is that necessarily positive or necessarily negative? Well, it seems both fascinating and terrifying at the same time, which I think is why the CEOs of these companies have a sort of a inherent fear of it. It's so powerful and coming on so quickly that they're not exactly sure how to control what happens with it. But should we fear it? Well, I think it's just an evolution of technology, just like the automotive age was, just like manned flight is. And with any evolution, you change the tools that you're using. For instance, I no longer use a comb, but I now use a hat. It's just.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You got to give me a minute of that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love it.
As it turns out,
Okay.
as it turns out, shampoo is worthless to me, but a bar soap works just fine. So
Oh my God.
so evolution can just be, it can just be the next phase. It's not necessarily anything to fear, but it is something to pay attention to.
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking more about these things in the coming weeks. It's going to be fun to continue these thoughts. It's too deep of a topic to cover in 10 minutes, but I am excited about it. I'm learning a ton about it. I'd love to share all that in future communications. So if you guys have any questions that I can answer right now, I'd be happy to field some. Either here on our panel of chief experts. But there's a lot to consider.
I think people just want you to go on with your comedy act.
Well, I can do that too.
That is so funny.
And it is a good point. Is it something? It is going to affect the industry, absolutely. To what extent, we don't know yet. I mean, Mike had the comment back here. What was it? Humans are wonderfully, uniquely, and creative, powerful, especially after we've had our morning coffee. So, and that's never going to go away. I mean, there's no computer going to replace that. No way, no how. But we used to use hammers. Now we use air nailers. That kind of stuff. So
I think it's going to change when we're talking about design, because it's going to help the designer who is a trend-based designer make their life easier. It's going to help with the DIYer who think, oh, I can create something really fast. I can just copy that. That works really great for me.
It's a great aggregation tool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
It's not, I think, it's really going to be creating a bigger differentiation between our clientele. I think the luxury client is still going to want us, but I think the people who are more budget based are definitely going to think they're designers. And I think we're going to end with a lot of low quality, poor designed projects in the end, because they're not thinking about the details.
Well, I think if you dig into that comment, I think that what you're saying without saying it is that figuring out the what has become incredibly easy. You can ask a question of an aggregator and it can tell you the what, and it may or may not be right, but the acceptance of that answer is right there. So I think Robin's doing some kind of sign language.
No, she's on a
Oh,
delay.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
why
video's
I'm
on
delayed.
your internet is in and out, Robin.
Gotcha. But your voice was
my voice is here, so I don't know what's going on with it.
So I think when you think about the what, then a tool, well, I think AI is going to change that completely. I think finding the what is there. Somebody asked the question, I think it was Vicky asked the question or stated a concern about students and learning. We've been on a trend for decades to dumb down America, and we introduced amazing tools into the classroom, 2 decades ago, only to find out if you ask the students who grew up with those that they learned more before those tools than after them. This generation and generations to come it's very easy now for them to find out what the answer is. The key to everything is now to figure out why and apply reason and taste and art and the kinds of things that are going to make that design that you say is going to be a very average design into something fantastic. the what can't do that. An artificial intelligence engine can just produce the lines and dots.
Right. So anyway, good topic, and we'll come back to that. Renee, do you have a comment?
Let me add a couple things to address what Vicky said. I've had it rewrite my website, and I learned from it. I feel like, I had a new approach to grammar that was similar to my own, and I now kind of absorbed that information. So I thought it was helpful.
But Renee, you developed those skills along the way.
Yeah,
right?
Very true. Very true.
People who have it now aren't developing those skills.
Well, and I think there's one
like
more.
they did.
There's one more piece of that too, and that's that as the students are doing this, they're figuring out very quickly, faster than any of us can, how to cheat through the process. Okay, so the AI engine is now generating the content, and the instructors now figured out a way to detect the cheating. So they now have a tool to counter that. Interestingly, now there is another tool that you can feed your AI generated content in that will make it undetectable by AI detectors. So there's sort of an arms race going on right now, and we're not really sure how that's going to develop.
Right.
So I'll tell you, just in Adobe has got some integration now where they've got scripts out there. Someone's got a ringer that's going off.
Yeah, who's got that going off?
That's not me.
Anyways, Adobe's got someone's written a third-party script to integrate ChatGPT into After Effects in Adobe, which means that they're literally typing out to ChatGPT within After Effects to write them a script to make an effect that immediately shows up in After Effects. So the software integration is going to be huge coming down the line.
Cool. All right. I'll make one last comment, and we're going to move on.
Read Marnie's comment right here. This is really great. I mean, that she's dealing with this issue right now.
Yeah, exactly.
She's dealing with that right now. I mean,
so
yeah.
As professionals, we need to pay attention to this, because as we keep asking ChatGPT and all these other AI things questions, and what is that?
That's me, guys. I can't figure out how to keep you live and turn it off.
You can mute yourself. Just hit the mute thing.
Good idea. That's right.
As we keep asking it questions, as we keep getting answers and re-asking the questions in different formats, and then we finally get our answers the way we want them, this stuff's learning what we're looking for. And it's going to continue to learn and get better and start massaging that information better, I think. So we should get used to using it, I think, so that we can just be part of how it works. Maybe. I don't know much about it. So let's just keep on paying attention to it. We'll talk more about this. Use it to help you. I use it all the time now, and I love it. So
you really? Wow.
Yeah, I really do.
My webcam uses AI.
What do you mean? Are you being?
It's moving. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anyway. All right. Cool, you guys. We need to move on to, let's see, what does Ethan had to say? Think about the effect Pinterest had on work. Our approach to those clients will be similar. Yeah. And houses too, with all their pictures. All right. The topic of this is to talk about part 3 of X15's updates. Robin, is your internet going to work okay here?
I hope to God it does.
So
if
you hit show your present down there and show your screen, are we going to be able to get this in real time?
Dan, you need to get yours up on so we can see the list too.
Yes, good point.
Well, I hope that it works, because I've been, dealing with this. Let me get to share my screen.
Oops.
It's just really slow.
Let me get my Adobe up. So we've been going through this list, and if you're on my website, you can get this list just by clicking the link below the video. If you're not on the website, just go to chiefarchitect.com and type in X15 new features, and this PDF will pop right up. So this is our third week of going through this. First week is listed in yellow, second week is in blue, and the third week we're going to go through some more of these things. So we're going to start out with Robin, talk a little bit about some of the new cabinet features. Not a ton, but there's a few cool things in there that you might want to pay attention to that'll help you in the process of designing. So,
am I showing my screen? Am I sharing my screen right now?
no, you're not right now. Let's
Okay,
see.
hold on a second.
No, that's,
I have to get back. I'm really slow today. I do not understand what's going on. So I'm
Yeah,
trying to get to where I'm sharing my screen.
okay. Well, let's just run ahead with Renee then.
Okay.
And why don't you keep working on that? We'll see if we can get that. Oh, here's something. Let's see. There's
Oh yeah.
there's your
Okay.
screen.
So hold on. Yeah, I just have to put it onto my other computer. So hold on. Here we go. I have too many monitors. I've moved into the world of 3 monitors. So
All
it's
right.
kind of crazy.
Get,
So give
get
it a
it
second.
together, lady.
Hey, I'm trying. I am really trying hard. This is supposed to be. This is the screen that I'm working on. It's just my lag is so slow. I don't think this is going to work so well for me.
All right.
Because my lag is so slow. So I'm going
Okay.
to stop sharing.
Okay. You stop sharing, and we'll just pick it up on our end here. So,
Sorry, you guys.
Dan, we
I mean, I
want your
can talk-
screen. Pull your list up.
Yeah.
yeah, let me go ahead and get mine up here. And where am I here? Where'd I go? Come on, Dan. Trying to do 10 things at once. What are you guys seeing right now? You seeing my PDF?
We're seeing your PDF. Yeah.
All right. So let's take a look at this. So I did go through some of these things with the cabinets. Let's just cover those really quickly. The thing about Chief with some of these things, I don't know if it's my computer or if it's Chief. Some of these things aren't working. So a center cabinet on hardware doors, that's like just a couple new buttons. So when you go into a 3D model, or you go into your cabinets and you click on the door drawer option, you'll see some new options here. One of them is centered. Okay. You got centered up and down, centered back and forth. So it's some new buttons to make placing knobs a little bit easier. So if you want those handles in the middle of your doors and drawers, just click those buttons.
It's such a lovely aesthetic too.
Yeah.
You know, seriously, you guys, seriously, this to me is just kind of a silly button. But if you're designing, you already have these adjusted in your plan views. So to me, I would already have, I had to unchange my defaults to get that to work because it wouldn't work on my system.
Sure.
Okay, so there is a glitch and it's active and they know about it.
Okay.
There's some instances where the door handle offsets aren't working. In those cases, you'd go to your front, sides, back, and go to the door that's not working for you, and then go to specify under appliance door drawer.
Yeah.
The
One
next
more
one
down.
down. Next one down.
Oh,
Yeah.
And now you would edit your offset here. So
Oh,
if you're
all
having
right.
trouble with an offset, this one will work. If for some reason it's not working in the other general panel.
okay. Cool. You've got 2 places to do it. And you could also set
But
them
that
in.
one only.
This one does it for an individual component.
Right.
Oh,
it
got
won't
it.
do it for the whole cabinet. Where the other going to door and drawer will change
Everything
all
on
like
the cabinet.
on
Okay.
that cabinet. Yeah.
Got it.
Exactly.
All right. Cabinet end panel display in view, plan view. So I put an end panel on this cabinet and it is displaying. It's also displaying the drawer. And that's set up in your default settings when you click on the default setting wrench, go to general cabinet, and we can turn these buttons on right here. Now, I played with those for quite a bit and it's like, this isn't working very well. What if I don't want to show my drawer here? I just want to show the panels of the sides of the cabinets and
You
the
have to
panels on
uncheck
top
the
of it.
first one. Yeah, you have to uncheck. You can't keep all 3 of them checked.
I tried that, man. I tried it. And of course, maybe it'll work today.
You know, I was showing it to my contractor, and he said there's so many lines on the drawing that it becomes confusing. So, this is where it is.
Yeah, so it
This
didn't
is
change
what
anything.
you have to look at it. You have to look at this to be able to make sure, is that something that all those little details that you need to show
I
on
know.
the cabinets?
So
You
it's
know,
on.
And it's
Go
not
ahead.
something that you would. It's not something that you would necessarily share with a contractor, but you would share it with a cabinet maker.
Yeah.
Well, but those aren't exactly the way you might make the cabinet. So is that really what you would
but
show?
it's showing that there's going to be something artificial there that's not really part of the cabinet.
Right.
Well, but I would do that in an elevation. I would do those notes on an elevation,
Right.
because you're not giving your cabinet maker a set of floor plans. You're giving your cabinet maker a control. You're giving them all the
Right.
details, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
This
I
just
think
gives
it's
me good
nice.
ideas for my Kevin Transu cabinet.
There you go.
Details.
There you
Uh-oh.
go.
Uh-oh.
Looking forward to seeing that one.
That's an insider
Yeah.
joke here.
I agree with empty cabs.
We're gonna
Sometimes
see
you
your
just want to show
drawers.
the faces.
Nice.
There you go.
Now, the other thing that wasn't working for me when I put a pilaster on the cabinet, and I turned on the show pilasters in the plan too, and this is what it shows, man. I can see it here, but it's covered up with whatever this front panel is. That'd be the door or drawer, I believe. So, I'm just bringing it up because it's on the list and I couldn't get it to work. So that was under cabinets again, under general. And even when I uncheck like that one, now it shows the pilasters, but doesn't show the side panels. So when I would go ahead.
Are the drawers in their own layer? I don't remember.
I'm looking to see, well, there's the door and drawer, but I think that's a vertical. That's when you're in elevation mode, but I'm going to check and see if that's there. Hold on a second. I'm looking to see if it's there. I have to turn everything on first, right? Everything
Okay, I'll
turned
try
on,
one more
and then-
thing and we're going to move on because I don't think this is something that,
We'll keep going and then I'll come back to this.
yeah,
It's,
not what we're
you know,
spending
it's
a
just
lot of
something
time
that
on.
you really, this kind of detail I think is fine, but you know, if your cabinet
Yeah.
maker likes that, but after a while, it's like, there's too much information.
Yeah.
No, I don't. It's just, sometimes it's too much information on your drawings, on
Yep.
your floor plans.
So when I turned drawers off in the layers, it turned off the side panels too.
Yes, it turns off everything.
Okay. Set pilasters is always present. I have no idea what that's for. Convert cabinet moldings to molding polylines. So when you click on a cabinet, you have a new icon down here. So if you had put moldings on your cabinet that you had made and you want to make that into a library object, you click this and it's going to allow you to do that. So
It's really nice to be able to bring it around the side of something that doesn't, it might not exist, or to be able to move it. Renee, here's a question for you that I was showing this the other day to somebody. Would you see, I think it's kind of a neat idea. I think it's neat, especially when you want to run it around the side of something or pull it a little bit farther so that way it finishes a corner detail up. But, you know, bringing it around the room, you would just change the room molding. Unless you're only putting that on one.
This is the molding I put on the countertop here.
Uh-huh.
So when I click that button, it displayed the molding itself on the cabinet. Okay.
Okay,
so,
and I was using it for toe kick. How I was
Yeah,
using it for toe kick.
I
and then
definitely
doing
find
in
it very,
baseboards.
very useful. I use it a lot.
that one I like. Yeah, that's a good one. You have control over if you want it or not on there now. So it's a molding polyline, just like any other molding polyline that's attached to the cabinet, or in this case, the countertop. So it does. I like it. That works pretty well. So that's, you know, in this case, I'm seeing that molding that's going around this particular.
Robin, I'll give you a perfect use case for it. I've got a refrigerator that I build into a cabinet, and it's got a custom looking vent that's made to look like its real life counterpart. And if you set a flat molding above that and you set your molding to be offset for any door items, well, for that particular item, it's going to offset to that vent that I created instead of offsetting just to the front face. So then I convert it, adjust it, fix it. There we go. So it's
Well, it's also nice, like if you're going to continue crown molding over a certain part of a room, but you're not running it everywhere, then you can run that crown, you can detach it and turn it into a polyline. You can drag it to the wall, right? So
I'll also say it's a lot easier to use in 3D.
Yes,
which
it
I
is.
do a lot of 3D design now.
Yeah, I started doing that, Renee. Trying to
I got a trick for you,
the
Dan.
Renee guru.
You see that outlet right there?
Which one?
This is that right there that you just placed. This is
Yep.
why I love that we have symbol modification in the object itself. Open that up.
Oops, wrong one.
See how round that is? How round that cover plate is? Go ahead and get to your 3D panel and set your smoothing angle to like 12. Down at the bottom.
Oh, where it says 60. See, right now it says 60 under smoothing angle.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
The last input
Change that.
box.
Yeah.
There we
Oh,
go.
and it just
There we
beveled it.
go. Now press OK. Bam. So easy.
So we didn't have to go open the symbol dialog and change
Yeah.
the 3D symbol. It's all
That's
part of
nice.
the whole object now. Of course, something's a little bit off here. When I rotated it, it's not quite on the where it should be, but let's not get into that right now. So again, the new features, we can add these into partitions, and then we can also in our partitions, let's see, what is that? Select next side.
No,
Yeah, they decked out the backside just like they really would.
Oh, look at that.
That's got to be that's my new favorite. I love it.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it. So you can
It's so
move your
easy
way
to work
around an object. I haven't even seen that one before.
Yeah, it's easy to work in 3D. It doesn't work on walls though. I wish it did.
Oh, sure. But we can put toe kicks on or off with our partitions now.
Oh, that's
quick. So that's kind of nice. And what was the other thing? Place items on a custom countertop. So if you have a custom countertop and I just placed a microwave, it set itself right on top of that countertop. I guess I'd never really noticed that before if it had done that or not. So apparently it does. It didn't. So because it's a new feature. All right. So that's all I got in the cabinets. And Robin, we got to check that internet out. So for next time, you can we can get
Sorry.
you on here. All right, that's okay. Not a problem. We're remodelers. We're used to just figuring shit out all day long. So it's what we do.
Oh, and suppress the moldings behind design objects. So that's really great for like an open table. Like if you're putting a furniture on in a room, like a table against a wall, you could suppress the molding.
Oh,
if you
right.
wanted to.
Yeah. I couldn't get that to work either, so I'm not even sure. I tried it with cabinets, furniture. I did work with furniture. I take that back. So I guess it was working. Anyway, Renee, let's switch over to you and let's talk about this new library browser for a minute, because I get a lot of clients commenting about it. They don't like the new library browser, and it's like I just tell them, once you get used to it, you're going to love it because it really is nice, and I do love it. So,
It's so good.
It really
is good. Yeah.
So why don't you give us a little crack at that and kind of enlighten everybody about that. We had talked about this on the first show, and I think it's just one of those things I think it's worth talking about again.
Yeah. We are going to get an update next month that's going to fix some of the problems we're having with the subfolder view. There's some problems there. I don't even know if it's worth talking about those particular problems. First up, tags. Tags is just a great one. You can multi-select any number of items that you might have in your library. Like I've got a few tiles here now.
So you're holding your control key down to group.
Yeah, so you can hold your control key down and select a few things in here and just add some tags to them. And
let's just show how you add a tag.
I'm just going to right click on this item and get down to tags, and then I can click one that I've already got here, or I can click on manage tags. I can just start typing in tile, for instance, and it gives me the option to create a new tag named tile. There we go. And I'm applying that to this particular item, and now it's up in my tags at the top of the screen. So when I click on that, it adds it as a filter. Anything that you see up in this corner is a filter. Okay. So we're filtering results based on these filters, and these filters do in fact stack, so that if I then click on appliances, it's adding an additional tag. It won't remove that tile tag until I click on it and uncheck. So a couple things, just once you know how this system works, it becomes very powerful. It's very easy to find things
fast,
very quickly.
Yeah.
So I'll give you for instance, maybe I've built out a kitchen and I want to place some things on top of the countertop. I can type in, let's go sits on. Look at this. It comes up with this designation. Now this is no longer just a text search. We're actually doing kind of like a classification search, if you will, or a type search, which is I'm looking for specific items that sit on a base cabinet. And that's going to
just like AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AI name in there.
It's fun.
Yeah. So this is showing me all of the items across all catalogs, both my user catalog and online catalogs, that are designated in their options panel of their symbol classification, that they sit on top of a base cabinet. So we can get to things very quickly. Maybe I want to add in some additional info like sync. Well, since this is a symbol type, this one will in fact take over the previous type, I believe. Oh no, it stacks. Look at that. So now we have stuff that sits on a cabinet and happens to be a sync as well.
Explain to everybody what the ones with the little globe on it are all about.
The globe here means that these are catalogs that you don't have downloaded into your system. These are online based catalogs, and it's simple enough to right click on one of these items and go download catalog, or simply try to drag and drop into the scene and it will automatically download. So this is
some catalogs like the Kohler catalog. It's a large catalog, so you have to be patient because it can take a while.
Yeah,
some catalogs will be like poof, so you just have to be aware that it is working.
But you do have to have that option check marked up in the upper right corner of that.
Yeah. So this option up in the right hand corner.
Yep.
This right there, include web results.
Yep.
So keep in mind, a few of our users have slow internet connection speeds, so you might want to have that unchecked when you're just casually browsing through your own stuff.
Then it won't show those. Show that one where it says Chief Architect Core Libraries. It's got the double arrow on it at the top of your list.
Yeah. So if you see this icon here, it looks a little different for some reason. Oh man, I got to work on my penmanship. That means that we've got some update in here. Something needs updating. It's actually, well, if I close these out, it'll actually maybe show me which one. No, it just shows me I've got some updates.
There's some updates.
If I right click and click on update, there we go. It's going to download those updates.
So Chief is constantly fixing, adding, changing, tagging things in all the libraries that they produce. So so when the updates are available, you see that, just click it and it'll download the updates. That's really nice because you don't have to remember it anymore. Now you can see it.
Yeah. So I'll just talk about some filter stacking, if you will. And it just becomes really easy to find exactly what I want. So I'm going to do something like, this shows me those catalog updates were updated successfully. I'm going to do something like, I'm going to type in GE. And if I scroll down here, you're going to see at some point, there's the manufacturer GE. So I'm filtering by manufacturer GE. And now if I go look for a range, I can look for a symbol type, scanning ranges. And now I might do a text search like 48. And this might be looking through search attributes that are associated with these. So you can see here very quickly, I got to exactly what I wanted, a 48-inch range made by GE. That's fast.
Cool.
Yeah.
Somebody commented a little bit ago that, well, here it is. GMP Builder commented, I hated the new library functions at first until you guys explained how they are useful. A little understanding goes a long ways. I know, Renee, you didn't even like the tags at first, and then look at you now.
I've got them now. Yeah, I've found that even though they're hard to see sometimes, they're still faster to me than trying to think of what I was trying to search. So,
Renee, are the tags already on library stuff, on things that came from the catalogs? Are those already? Do those already have tags, or do you have to place the tags?
I'll tell you the next update. They are giving us. We can pass on tags when we export libraries. Right now, you can't. If I export a library, it will not carry with it the tags that I added. Next update, we get that. Also, next update, I'm promised that they're introducing a new, I'm hoping I'm allowed to even say this. I think I am. They're introducing a method for group editing of search attributes. And I think they've even done an improvement on what I even suggested. So the team there, that's really interesting. I'm excited to see that. And then they'll be fixing the subfolder issue.
Oh, so do you have to start? So can I just clarify this? So you were looking at a range. Do you have to go big to small? So you did a range. So you were looking for a GE range, GE, and then you typed in range, and then you typed in 48. Do you have to go kind of in that order where you're narrowing down?
No, you don't.
Write in 48 GE. You could go in any direction.
Yeah, you could go any direction. It's just
Okay.
adding a new filter to the results. And mind you, anytime we even click on a folder within our own system, that adds a filter. You see at the top of the screen, that just added the filter for this particular folder. So it's showing me what's inside of that folder. So
Okay.
And then once you create a search like that, you can click the little funnel icon in the upper right corner and save that search for future reference.
Exactly. So we can do some advanced things here. I'd encourage you to just go play around with that. That seems pretty straightforward if you go into the advanced search filters, and then I can drop down and get into those filters. I have some tools that I call painters, and you see one click for that filter, and it immediately brings me up to that filtered result. Versus tags are just kind of arbitrary. You place them on whatever items you want. So it's just a different approach.
Renee, in the library, I agree with Mark in this, that on my screen, the library items are so light gray that I can barely even tell what they are. Is there a way to darken the images?
If we're just talking about the color that I have applied to my...
No, the preview in the when you select an item or you find the results, a group of items in the library. I'm not talking about yours. I'm talking about even on our screens individually, but the items can be so light that you can't see them. Is there a way to darken them?
Oh, I don't think we have any way of adjusting that. No. I do believe that the preview comes from your room default or your floor defaults.
Yeah. Sorry.
I can't remember what the room preview comes from, but you could always change your, if we look here, just changing our standard rendering technique options and this guy right here, we can mess around with that a little bit. You might want to try something different like the vector view. Maybe that's helpful.
Okay. And maybe Mark was just asking you about this presentation. I was thinking about that, what you're seeing there and how everything just disappears. But
yeah, maybe vector view is a better look, easier to see.
I think what they're talking about is when you click on the icon down there, that the bunch of dots on the bottom there that show the one next to that.
Well, I'm talking about the even in
the right,
even in the grouping, the center
show the thumbnails. Third icon from the left.
Third icon from the left is the one I have checked right now. Yeah,
it is. Okay, and then you see that list of items up there, and everything's kind of light gray.
That, yes.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard.
We're talking about this. Well, you can control and mouse wheel up if this is helpful to make this,
hold your control key down and mouse in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's helpful. That is helpful, actually.
It's helpful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's under tags. I see.
Yeah. And then if you mouse cursor over a division in these tiles, we can always just expand this up even larger.
Because it seemed like we used to be able to view those items in color. I don't think we do that. Now it's all just vector lines.
Well, the preview will show you.
Preview will show in color, but not that panel.
Yeah.
So, okay. I mean, it's fine.
Filling up a 27 or bigger inch screen with just your library panel would probably help too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this comment right here, light fixture glass is very difficult to see. I would just change the rendering preview to a vector-based view then.
So Renee, when I'm typing in the tag situation, I'm going into tags and I typed in 4 different things and it's not showing anything. It's showing, I asked for a 60-inch range and it's still showing me a 30-inch. What am I doing wrong? So I just typed it in under tags.
Well, so tags are something that you designate, right?
Oh, I see. Got it.
Something already has to have a tag in order for you to find it.
Okay.
Right. So you're going to create a tag, apply it to an object.
The other thing is the object has to have that attribute.
Okay, that was the question I asked. So the Chief's catalogs or the manufacturer catalogs don't have tags added to them yet. We have to put
They don't have search attributes or tags. Well, some of them do have search attributes, but none of them have tags.
I get it. Yeah. So as those get updated and as we find our regulars, then if you find, okay, now I get it. Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to show you one more thing here.
Okay, one more thing, and then we're going to move on. So.
Okay, we've got a move to folders option now. this is a big one for people. Move to folders. Say I want to actually make a duplicate of this item. Well, I can search. I'm going to throw this in section that's to sort. This is showing me actively, searches throughout my whole catalog here. Now, when I click on this, you'll notice that the user catalog is checked, and so is the to sort folder. You can see they're both at the top as filters. I'm making a duplication if I press OK right now. I'm putting a copy into this to sort. I'm leaving it in its where it was right now in the user catalog. I'd have to uncheck this if I simply wanted to move that item. So we can make multiple duplications of items on the fly if for some reason you want them in multiple places just based on your file organization. But this also helps us move large groups of items into a folder very quickly.
Nice.
Yep. All right, go ahead.
One last comment, Steve Sanger. Can you do those side by side? And the answer is yes, you can. It works just fine. I just did it. If you make your library browser. Nope, you just grab the tab and move it. Here, let me show my screen.
Oh, yeah. You can grab, move.
Let me get my Chief up here. So there I just grab, if you just grab the tab and move it around. So I ended up starting, when I did it, when I first did it, it was real narrow here. Come on. It was like that. And then I had to just, you can, adjust the size of the windows. And then you can move them around. So that's kind of nice. So if you're going to have this open on a big screen, you could do that.
And I think Steve's comment was you could spread that all the way across your screen, down at the bottom or top or whatever. So you can move all those things horizontally and be able to get a lot more in there.
Yeah, but they do have to all be inside of the library
browser. Right.
Yeah. So, all right. Actually, we're running short on time here. The time goes so darn fast in these things. Renee, we wanted to talk a little bit about the drafting project management. Now, material lists are automatic; they're dynamic, so they'll update as you change your model. That's pretty cool. That's a new feature.
Yeah.
For those of you that use material lists, again, I'm not a big material list guy, so to me, it's like okay. But I keep, one day, we'll be using these things, and I know a lot of people are right now. And I did when I used to help people with projects estimating and stuff. The area counts you get off these things are good. And if you're adding the framing is correct. You're going to get good framing lists. You got to take everything with a grain of salt because there might be a lot of things missing. But anyway, let's talk about schedules for a little bit, Ernie. I know you're big into schedules, and you do a lot of things with that. So you can see that they've made a ton of changes on schedules, from numbering format, minimum rows, truss preview and schedules. So that's a new schedule, right? The trusses that's a part of framing probably. So there are a lot of new things in the schedule. So Renee, why don't you, if you want to address that a little bit, that'd be awesome.
Let's see. Well, tell me the first one there.
So when we get into the schedules, you've got control, sort schedules by column, change the sorting and numbering of objects.
Just do a window here. Oh, and I suppose it helps if we have some windows.
Yeah. Different size windows. Now you can also on your schedule now say, do a separate schedule item for each window, even if they're the same. That's a setting I noticed there, and that's kind of nice too.
Well, that's always been group similar objects. Yeah. So group similar objects, we'll split that up so you can always, you're making sure that you're not grouping together items, especially if you don't have something like the floor column included, where maybe you have windows on a first floor and a second floor, and you don't need to show the floor column on your schedule, but you do need to show that those are different windows. Yeah, you could do that by unchecking group similar objects.
Yep.
So let's see, we've got this option here is automatically sort by. So we can check that automatically sort by and then pick a column, any column that you want. So maybe I do want to sort by floor and ascending. And so if I press OK, there we go. Now we've sorted by the floor number, even though I don't have a second floor in this project.
No, I get it. So that's where you do the sorting. You don't click on the title of the column or anything. You do it in the dialog box.
We got, a couple versions ago, or maybe one version ago, we got swap rows columns. That's helpful if we're, we can make a schedule be something that's not a traditional schedule, like an electrical panel schedule. We've got so many options now. We can really make a panel schedule look accurate nowadays. So that's kind of cool. Minimum rows. This is a great one if we want to increase the minimum rows here. This is kind of, I think they were getting a lot of requests. In fact, this is something I would have requested at some point, which is if we've got a page full of schedules, we want those schedules to look uniform across our sheet, regardless of the information there. Well, we can set a minimum rows to be, whatever the maximum number of rows in one of our other schedules is, so that they all just look the same across your screen. So
that just gives you some blank rows, right?
Yeah. So if I just type in 12 here, it's going to ensure that I've got 12 rows here. So if I had a separate schedule here that, just means this is the same uniform look across these two, right? They line up.
So is that going to put double callouts on your plan again?
Oh yeah, this will. But I don't display my.
You know how to get rid of it.
How do you get rid of
how?
It kind of gets rid of it, but it doesn't get rid of it. If you uncheck call out numbers for one of the schedules, it won't give you doubles.
Okay.
If you use the label for the number instead of the call out, you have to change up your schedule a little bit, but then it won't give you won't be displaying the double numbers.
Gotcha.
Double symbols.
All right, cool.
That's good to know.
Yeah. There we go.
What's
Oh,
another
so
item
if you have one schedule saying label and the other schedule saying call out, then you'll just get one of each.
It's something that people need to play with to see how they would want to use that.
Got it.
The other trick is to put your schedule in a CAD detail so that you can put that on your layout multiple times and not have to have duplicate ones.
Oh no, you'll still get duplicates when I put all my schedules in. I have all my schedules.
If you put a schedule in a CAD detail, it will still duplicate. I don't know about CAD block.
You can't have it on your plan at the same time.
Yeah.
Only in your CAD detail.
Yeah,
and then you can place that CAD detail several times on your layout, and it won't duplicate.
Gotcha.
All right. So we got truss preview and schedules.
Okay, so we would need a truss schedule. Let's see.
Is that a separate schedule?
I think that's just
that's part of framing, I think. So that's going to be one of those items on the list that we can add to a column, I think. So if you open the dialog for that, it'd probably be like displaying windows and cabinets and things like that on your schedule. You can have a row for the 3D or 2D view of it, would be my guess. I haven't even looked at it yet.
Let's see, we build all framing.
Go.
And so now I've got a roof truss here, and let me. What would be the truss preview? Let's see, elevation.
I would think it would be an elevation, wouldn't it? It's not listed as a truss there. And I have not done this yet.
No,
so
I don't see sloping flat truss. Interesting. No, that's not going to give it to me. I don't know what the 3D exterior elevation would be. Probably it. There we go.
There's your trusses. All right. So of course I've yet to create a list of trusses that are accurately drawn, but by golly, we can show it now.
I'm not sure why you'd want to take on that liability. I'm just going to hand it off to the truss company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's nice to have a conversation with your truss manufacturer based on that.
I do lay out trusses for that reason, because I've had some projects where I had my thought process going and the truss guys agreed with me, and I've had other ones where they said, no, we're going to do it like this. So it is good for conversation. So I do like that.
Make sure when you're printing that you set up a watermark, is what I would say if you're going to do that.
Trusses per manufacturer, or always trusses per manufacturer. Room volume and schedules.
Volume and schedules. Okay.
So that must be another one on the list. So if you have, I wonder if that's a room finish thing.
So
would that-
room finish schedule. Yeah. I have an area interior.
Yeah, that's
And
probably
then-
it. And I see they have a % wall opening
We have volume.
in schedules.
Those things are all going to be nice for doing your energy calculations and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, there you go. And just if you want to see total, just make sure you've got the totals column selected when you're opening up your schedule. We're just going to show, make sure that you've got display totals row. If you want to see totals tallied up.
Yeah. Mike wants to know, can we do watermarks per custom per sheet? Not that I'm aware of.
I think no, you'd have to print individual sheets then and then compile them in an editor.
You can just create a watermark layer and use it as the different sheets, but it doesn't quite work the way the watermark does. You've got to deal with transparency and background printing and all of that.
You might be able to do it if you had multiple ones that this made sense by making a new template page for your layout.
True, but what a pain in the ass that would be.
Well, I'm just saying.
Just for a watermark?
Might be an option.
No, that was a great option, I think.
Yeah, we won't get into that right now. All right, we got a few minutes left. Cabinet doors and drawers in a schedule. Header height and windows in a schedule. We don't have to show these. Symbol information in schedules. Use the type column for symbol-based objects like fixtures and furniture. You can group edit schedules. So if you have a bunch of schedules, you can open them all at once and probably edit some things.
Hey, want to talk? That's an AI one right there. One of our users is developing a system to take the type. This is why Chief did this. They're offering the type so that you can export your schedule to an SQL database and have it automatically order based on that.
Okay.
So that's like a 3-click thing to an order form that's actually submittable to your vendor, which is pretty impressive.
Wow,
cool. Hyperlinks and rich text. I think we're done with the schedules now. You want to show that real quick?
Oh yeah, I love that one.
That's a new one.
So forgetful.
We had hyperlinks in regular, in plain text, but now we have it in rich text as well.
I forget everything under the sun, so it's nice for me to come in here and go
link. Get reminded. Yeah.
Link, highlight it, and then click on this guy right here, insert hyperlink, and you get to type in some text like this. I wish I had this show on deck. Oh, I know what I have. I have my Facebook group right there. Bam. Okay. Press OK. Now, when you actually click on the text itself, you're going to see here when you hover over the text, my mouse cursor, I know my screen's so small, my mouse cursor changes and I can actually click on that link and it's going to take me to the page that got linked there. Yeah.
Did you just click on the link itself? You didn't just have to click another icon.
No, didn't have to click on another icon, which is awesome. Now, the other great part about this is if we were to say we're going to print this, that's actually going to make it so that it prints with the hyperlink in your
the PDF,
embedded in your PDF.
Yeah,
cool.
Not if you print it on a piece of paper, you won't be able to push the paper.
Work that
way. Yeah, right.
But that's helpful if you want to embed a link. Say, change your draw order, put the link underneath a call out, and now you're kind of making a makeshift way of linking to, a page that you've got embedded in your website that call out pushes to. So you could click on an elevation call out and have it go to another sheet if you're embedding that in your website. That's pretty tricky.
Yeah.
Is there any way to put a link in a schedule?
No.
Like if you for your appliances, you could put a link there to the installation instructions, that kind of thing.
You're going to be doing the same thing, which is just change the draw order, put your actual text link underneath the schedule, and that will work.
Okay.
But not in the schedule itself.
Yeah. Someone said awesome for QR codes. There you go.
Yeah. Fill transparency for call out arrows. You set the level of transparency. What's that all about? Haven't used that. Why would we want to do that?
Well, just so I got a call out arrow. I
believe
I have a call out arrow here.
Actually, that's what that is, isn't
it? Just depends on if you're using some kind of custom arrow. I don't even remember how to do this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. There we go. And change that transparency.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's not blocking some text or something like that.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. Yeah, if you got a bunch in one spot, that could be an issue.
Yeah, and if you're using some kind
and then creating custom arrowheads, I think we talked about that once. But so yeah, we got labels for CAD blocks, pictures, and PDFs, so we can label those kinds of things in our plan now. So anytime you import anything, it can have its own. You can have this label displayed under it, just like any window label, door label, anything.
So now this is on its own layer, and it can have labels. Just keep in mind that by default, some of my template pages now have PDF labels turned on, and I actually don't like that. So if you're using a template, you might notice that this is turned on, and maybe you don't want it turned on.
Yeah. All right. Special characters and macro text. We won't get into that right now. Designer client information dialog. I mean, that's been there forever. What are they changing that? Associated with your plans and macros now. So that's under the tools menu.
Yeah. I haven't noticed anything different.
I haven't either, unless they're just linking it to more things, which it seems like. So maybe they've created more macros that you can link these to other places more.
Does it link from your layout? Does it link from your layout to the plan that's referenced on it?
No,
not that I'm aware of.
They did change something, but it's still not quite there yet, I don't think. Because we have no way of pulling that information up and having it report to us some kind of macro that we want. So
cool. All righty. I think we're about done here, you guys. Very cool. Good stuff. I hope that was helpful for some of you guys to see some of those things, especially the library thing. That's why I wanted to show that again, because that is such a time saver now. I used to search, a couple minutes for a stupid kitchen sink. Now I can find it instantly almost.
One more thing on the library. Renee, can you go back and show, if people want to use it the way it used to be, how you get your library to look like it used to?
Well, we don't quite have that option. And
by using the folders and the
you can just turn things off.
You just turn things off.
Right.
Oh, okay. So just
hit the gear icon there.
Yeah, you can take out tags if you want to. A couple different things here. The subfolder icon here. I mean, I wouldn't even go over it yet because it's not fixed. It's broken right now.
Yeah.
So
right, but just by checking those options there under the settings under the gear icon, you can get it to look like it used to in past versions.
Yeah, I guess that works. But I always encourage people to learn to use the new features.
Right.
It's
but if you don't have the screen space, that doesn't really work either sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
when you're working off a laptop or something. So
yep.
All right, awesome. You guys, it's about time to run. So we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. We'll get a special guest coming on. We're going to talk a little bit about leadership. And we'll discuss that a little bit more as we move forward here. And I'm looking forward to that. So in the meantime, if you guys have questions or comments, please feel free to email me, dan@chiefexperts.com, or Renee at rabbitdesign.com, or Kevin at theartofdesign.com.
.net.
Oh, .net. That's sorry.
Someone owns .com, and they won't give it up.
Yeah, I know. Same with Art of Design.
Somebody owns my .com too, so mine's .biz, guys.
You could get that one for $7,000, Kevin.
Yeah,
I know.
I looked into it. Yes.
Yeah,
I need AI to go beat someone up for me.
Yeah, and then we got Robin and then John. You guys can find.
Hey, you guys.
You guys can find though under the info tab at chiefexperts.com. So you find all their contact information if you want to touch base with anybody. So everybody, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Have a great couple weeks, and we'll see you soon. Happy AI-ing.
Take care. Bye.